So I finally got around to seeing Renfield this week on Peacock. I didn't go see it in theaters when it first came out. I was kind of waiting for either streaming or Blu-ray first. And then lucky me, I was kind of mindlessly scrolling through Peacock looking for something to watch this week, and I came across, lo and behold, Renfield, which I wasn't even aware that was on streaming yet. So I was, after hearing so many good things about that film these last few months, I was really, really excited to check it out once I saw that it was on there. And before I begin, let me just say that this is not a film review of Renfield. I just felt like hitting record and kind of mindlessly rambling about Renfield for a while, but this won't be a traditional review. I'm still going to do a traditional TobattoVision review of the film down the road. I can't say when or where or how, but I will do one eventually. But this is just me kind of rambling about it. Anyway, Renfield is it's that new Dracula movie starring Nicolas Cage, and I forgot the name of every other actor in the film. But Nicolas Cage is obviously the most important one because he's just great in everything he's in, always has been, hopefully always will be. Even his lesser films of recently, the ones that, he's been kind of doing these side projects to kind of catch up with some of his finances or whatever the situation really is with that. I enjoyed most of those that I've seen. So Nicolas Cage, to me, hasn't really given audiences a bad performance. I think he's severely underrated, and I'm glad to see he's having sort of a Hollywood resurgence now. But I do lament the fact that Renfield, in its theatrical run, didn't do very well. I'm not even sure if it made back its full budget and marketing budget, which kind of sucks. I hate to see the film, kind of bomb like that, because I don't think it deserved it. It's a pretty good film, in my opinion, but I think, if anything, this sort of throws somewhat of a wrench in Nicolas Cage's mainstream comeback. I think if Renfield had come out of the gate and been huge and made buku dollars, it obviously would have been a better deal for the studio, which I believe is Universal Studios. It would have been a big deal for them, but it would have been a bigger deal and a bigger attribute to Nicolas Cage's overall comeback. So hopefully this hasn't stunted that comeback. Hopefully it hasn't really thrown a wrench and stalled all progress in that, because I do want to see him make a full, big-time Hollywood mainstream comeback. That would be great. To see Nicolas Cage in some consistently A-plus movies, again, would be a fantastic era to be in. We got Keanu Reeves consistently in A-plus content. I want to see Nicolas Cage back on that level as well. So I watched the film, and I really did enjoy it. It's a pretty short film. I think it's like 80 or 90 minutes, maybe even less. It moves by really quick. It's a very quick-paced film. But I don't think the movie failed because of this, because like I said, the word of mouth that I've heard have been nothing but positive reviews about the film. So I don't think bad word of mouth spread. But the film itself, it seems like the reason why it might have tanked at the box office is because there are a lot of issues. And a lot of it is pacing, I think. The movie's trying to be too big, I think, with its plot. And with such a short runtime, a lot of stuff kind of just cuts off too quickly. Stuff is very abrupt. A lot of stuff doesn't get tied up together properly towards the end. A lot of films are guilty of that, but Renfield just moves along at such a fast pace that I can kind of see why it didn't do better. I like the film. A lot of people I know like the film. Again, I haven't really heard many people say anything bad about it, but it's not a perfect movie, and there are a lot of problems with pacing and tonal changes and consistency, but Nicolas Cage is good. He's fantastic in the film as Dracula. He's cool as hell. He looks great. He sounds great. He acts fantastic. Very smooth, very suave, very creepy Dracula. I love it. I want to see Nicolas Cage do other interpretations of big-name vampires. Maybe do Dracula again in a very serious version. Maybe take on Barlow from Salem's Lot. That would be very cool. Maybe even Nosferatu. The alternate telling of Dracula, if you will. That'd be very cool. I don't want this to be the end of Vampire Cage. That's what I'm saying. But as far as the other actors in the movie go, they all did fine. If not forgettable, but fine. Like the leading actor, I forgot his name. I should know his name. He was in that movie, The Menu. He's a good actor. He's fine. Capable. doesn't rock my socks off. I think Cage steals the show in that movie. But everybody else did fine. Nobody did a horrible job. Even like the Lobos gang and like the main Lobos kid who's like the son of the Lobos mafia head, who's his mom. By the way, that Lobos guy, her son, that guy would be a fantastic interpretation of the Joker. He would make for a fantastic interpretation of the Joker. He's tall, he's lanky, skinny. He's got the big nose. He's got the weird mannerisms, a good voice for it. I think he would be a killer Joker if he could just refine a bit of his acting chops. But again, all that stuff is fine. I just think Nicolas Cage stole the show so much that even if you enjoy the film, you kind of wish the movie had been all about Nicolas Cage's Dracula and not really about Renfield or anybody else. Setting it in modern settings was fine. Again, the story works. It's just everything moves so quickly that it's just, I don't know, there's so much to be desired. It's almost like this film needs a 2.5 hour cut where everything can just kind of slow down a little bit and let the scenes breathe as they move from one scene to the next. It's just too fast. Too much stuff going on too quickly. But in that regards, it never gets boring. You're never lost. It's just so much at once. It's like, what is going on here sometimes with it? But it's never hard to follow. I just wish it had been a little bit longer to let the stuff get fleshed out more. For example, and there are spoilers in this section, the film ends with, Renfield, after having defeated Dracula, he uses Dracula blood as a familiar to sort of bring all of his dead friends back to life. So they're back to life. It's kind of an in-film joke that they're back from the dead. They've seen things they can't unsee in the afterlife, but they're back. All is well. But shouldn't they technically be vampires now, or at least half vampires? Right? I don't know. That's never explained. The corrupt police department is never touched on again. Like, that should be a serious problem going forward for the secondary main character besides Renfield, who is a police officer. Her boss is corrupt. Her whole police station brethren are corrupt. Like, everybody's corrupt. They were working with the Lobos for a while. So, like, that's never addressed. I don't know. Weird stuff like that could have been fleshed out by even 20 or 30 more minutes of runtime. I really liked the old style original Universal Studios Dracula film sort of inserts where they have Nicolas Cage as if he was always Bela Lugosi. Those scenes are so cool, and Nicolas Cage looks so cool with the sharp teeth, the feral teeth. I don't know. Nicolas Cage and everything they did with Dracula was awesome. When Dracula is in feral mode, fantastic. When he's sort of burned to a crisp skeleton at the beginning in the prologue, and you see him coming back as sort of like a rotten zombie, and he's building his strength back. The makeup is awesome. Looks fantastic. I just wish there had been more to it. And I think that's a big reason why the movie wasn't a big, huge hit. Not that the people who saw it didn't like it, but just the buzz from those who did like it wasn't strong enough to bring in the masses, because nobody was saying, "Oh my God, it's the best thing ever." People were just saying, "Yeah, it's an okay movie. It's a good movie. It's a good Nicolas Cage flick." And again, maybe that's not why it flopped. Maybe people just didn't go to the theaters to see it. But the movie, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say or where I'm going with it. But all I'm trying to say is I can see the problems with the movie. And I think those problems really help keep the movie down and keep the movie from being better than it could have been. If they had just let it breathe, let it be longer, and all that jazz. But again, everybody who acted in the film was fine. The story was fine. The pacing was good, if not too abrupt. I will watch it again. I'm probably going to buy the hard copy Blu-ray whenever I can find a 4K, if a 4K even exists. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's pretty good. Again, this isn't a film review, so I'm not going to rate the film or really get into the detailed plot synopsis or really give 100% of my feelings about the film here, because I'll save that for an actual TobattoVision review down the road. But I really just wanted to talk about the film, that I'm glad to have finally seen it. I'm glad I didn't pay money to see it in the theater, because the theaters are so expensive now that when I see a movie that's not a masterpiece, I'm really disappointed just that I spent the theatrical money to go see it. Renfield is fine for streaming at home for a simple Peacock subscription. But if I had paid $12 for a movie ticket, $5, $6, $7, $8 for a soda, plus $10 for a popcorn, geez, it's like $30 even to go solo to the theaters now. I kind of would have been disappointed because of the same problems. I think Nicolas Cage deserves his mainstream resurgence. I want to see him do well. I want to see him do better movies. I want to see him play a vampire again like this. I just hope the next time, if there is a next time, they give it maybe a 2.5 hour runtime. Less comedy, less emphasis on secondary storylines. Like, Dracula is a threat enough in and of himself. We don't need some weird mafia-style mob family joining in with him. You know what I mean? So, I'm done rambling for now. That's really all I have to say. So, shoo, get out of my face. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz, and I will see you guys next time. If there is a next time, when there is a next time.